Good morning, my Dromancast friends. This is Quest for RP Radio. Hey, this is going to be episode 17 of my Sith Inquisitor playthrough of Star Wars The Old Republic. When we last left off, the newly Darth Zash has given us a task to finally begin this big quest that we have set out by finding the map of Tulak Horde. We had to deal with a barrier before that of Darth Scotia, in which he has been killed off by us. And now we can really get into what the Sith Inquisitor playthrough, the first arc, is all about, which is hunting down all these artifacts for some great power, some treasure. But first, we have a letter to read from Lord Zash, tidying up. Apprentice, consider yourself lucky I didn't ask for your help in clearing out Darth Scotia's chambers. The amount of sheer clutter in here is staggering. It'll take me at least a week to sort everything out. I dare say this is one of the less glamorous aspects of seizing a rival's power base. There are plenty of treasures to be found here, however. Given your pivotal role in Scotia's demise, it's only fitting you receive some of the spoils. Enjoy. She gave me 290 credits, which is a pittance. That's pocket change. If However, when that quest was written, when the game was young, the economy was different. That might have been less of an insult. At this point, with the incredible inflation that Star Wars: The Old Republic suffers from, that's an insulting amount of money. Insulting. Okay, so the area we're about to go through is the Dark Temple. One of my favorite things in Star Wars is I, lo- I love Jedi and Sith. They got forced into these over the years. That when the prequels came about, it really forced Jedi and Sith into these categories that were a little more open in the past. Now they're very tight, and the Jedi all seem very similar. The Sith all seem very similar. Sith have this great thing though with sorcery and more of an occult vibe. And the Dark Temple we're gonna go to is a great manifestation of that. Uh, I think.
Damn it, this would never have happened on my watch. Ah, my lord, it's good to see that the Sith haven't let things slide. Not like the rest of this circus of an empire. First, it's slave rebellions in the jungle, then this. We wouldn't have allowed these kinds of things 30 years ago.
Could you try to explain things from the beginning?
I was sent to this construction site to investigate unusual behavior among the droids. I wasn't here long when one of the units attacked me. I barely escaped with my life, but worse than that, I found this transmitter on the droid.
Do you think the droids were being controlled by someone?
Yes, and I believe they're sending signals back as well. I warned my superiors what would happen if they continued to be lax about this planet's security. Someone, an independent interest, a rogue Sith Lord, is using these droids to broadcast Cast City's schematics to an off-planet location.
What do you want me to do?
We need to get those transmitters. If we can remove enough of them from the droids, it'll make the data they're sending unintelligible. The sooner we get those transmitters out, the better. This information can't end up in the hands of our enemies.
You got it. feel like the Jedi, they don't have the the Sith have a real spiritual component to them with the sorcery and the occult um, stuff that I feel that the Jedi don't really have. They sit around and meditate and think and stuff, and that's great. Um, but it doesn't have as much to interact with. Yeah, the Sith have a lot of things that you can interact with. We're about to be talking to Force ghosts and people who are possessed, rituals and stuff. I wish the Jedi had a little more going on. For a role player, all the things that a Sith can get up to is just so much more interesting to me. I am very interested in the occult and spirituality, so I've got a lot to work with the Sith. I will do a Jedi eventually, and I'm gonna get creative with that, just to make myself happy. If I played just a vanilla Jedi, how many are portrayed to be, I'm worried I might be bored to death. I've got to entertain myself, so I'm gonna definitely find an angle to it. I'm not gonna quite say yet what I have in mind in case I change my mind. But all I'll say is, on this particular Sith, for instance, I'm kind of going with an anachronism. I've got a character who's not evil, relatively weak and vulnerable, which really doesn't line up with the Sith. But I hope she'll eventually get that way through character development. Um, it's probably going to be the same with a Jedi. I'm going to want to mix it up a little bit and make a Jedi that is struggling to live up to Jedi standards.
Back already? And you have the transmitters?
Just take them already.
Well, what do you know? And here I was starting to think efficiency had gone out of style. I owe you thanks. If you'll give me a moment, I'll upload the data to High Command and we'll see what's what.
Whoa, bro, you think I want to know?
This is worse than I ever would have imagined. Lord Grathan's behind this. He has to be.
A clever one, Lord Grathan. Poking at the Dark Council without ever causing them to raise their fist.
He's covered his tracks well. We won't be able to prove it, but Lord Grathan has been sending security codes and planetary readouts off-world. Everything an invading army would need. Major Shellister is already en route to the probable invasion site with every soldier he can find. They'll meet you just across the bridge. Hurry.
Alright, I believe the rest of that quest is a heroic quest. And I'm going to skip that in order to make my way to the Dark Temple.
Baru Jamunja.
That would be quite a fall. I think that is the heroic zone, if I'm not mistaken. think I get several abilities at level 23. We're almost at level 19 right now. I think they should have thrown like an ability at us at level 20. There's a little bit too much of a gap there. Oh, I'm so dumb.
Jimunja.
Drummond Cost is so dark. I run blindly into some things sometimes. Alright. Schlaster is... Oh. Bioanalysis. I have not done a crafting profession in Star Wars The Old Republic. I think I will, though. On Elctha, I'm going to pick up biochem. Keep my bioanalysis gathering profession. Kind of imagining her fashioning her own medicines and treatments for whatever her problem is to keep herself at being vital.
Over the last 3 days, a series of transmissions left Drummond Cast and were received by ships orbiting a nearby asteroid. These transmissions contained safe landing coordinates for the planet's surface and security codes to bypass the orbital defenses.
Are we at war? Have the Jedi finally landed?
Even the Jedi don't have the temerity to attack Drummond Cast itself. Several hours ago, small shuttles built to avoid sensor detection began to land and deliver troops to the planet's surface. These troops are brutal alien mercenaries of the exiled Lord Titonus. Students of Sith politics will remember she was the rebel who declared her own kingdom on Begarin.
I thought Captain Eisen said Grathan was behind this.
It may be that Lord Grathan gave her the information, but it's not his army landing. Lord Titonus has judged her timing perfectly. With so many of our forces off-planet, it is possible she could take Kars City if she lands her entire mercenary army. We must stop her shuttles from landing and beat back her forces. I've thrown every resource I have down there already. Now it's up to you.
Okay. We're not going to get involved in that now.
Can you sense it, my lord? Something out there? I wish it were in my head, but I know it's real. Please excuse me. It's these long nights, excavating relics near the Dark Temple. I'm Major Swain Lothar, Imperial Reclamation Service. My team uncovered several significant artifacts at a nearby dig. That's when things started going wrong.
Perhaps your team exhumed something.
They didn't report anything like that. Just the artifacts. Then the mysterious visitors. First, it was strange noises from the temple, then figures lurking nearby. My team didn't like it, but I told them to push on. Now they're days overdue, and I owe a report to Lord Duan. But I can't go out there. I need someone to find them, make sure the artifacts make it.
Those artifacts will be with the Empire soon.
Thank you. I was just about to write the whole dig off as a loss. My team's still in those caves. Whatever's happened, please bring those relics to Lord Duan. He's overseeing a small camp by the Dark Temple.
It was kind of a glitchy scene. There's going to be a strong theme of Sith artifacts driving people mad, which is awesome.
In Teufel atraus.
Here's the team. The artifacts are clearly missing and look to have been violently removed. There's an hollow.
Only a moment to rest. Those things from the Dark Temple are attacking again. Jez thinks they're drawn to the artifacts. I bet he's right. They went berserk the second we packed everything up to leave. It's time to make a stand. If those crazies want our relics, they'll have to kill us first.
And they did. By crazies, he means either other archaeologists or other Sith who got possessed.
Baru Jamunja.
I love archaeology too, and since the Sith Inquisitor storyline has so much archaeology going on, I want to bring. I definitely want to be able to interact with the idea of Sith sorcery, tongue tied, Sith sorcery, Sith alchemy, archaeology, all these things. So I want Elctha to have an interest in that.
I've sent 3 separate expeditions into the Dark Temple. Not one has returned. I can't say for sure what's going on, but people who go in there, they don't come back.
What makes you say that?
Sounds I heard coming out of that place would send a rancor running, if it was smart enough to run. You can survive the Dark Temple. I beg you to do me, and more importantly, the Empire a favor. The expeditions I sent in were looking for specific data. I can spare the manpower, they were slaves mostly, but the data is essential.
What do you want me to do?
I'd like you to find the slaves from the expeditions and bring back any data you recover. The slaves from the expeditions were equipped with data pads to store the data they collected. Bring back those data pads. This information's vital to future construction on Drome and Kars. It's not glamorous, but will you help?
I can absolutely do that.
Amazing. Fantastic. Your help is invaluable. I'll mark the location the expedition last signaled from on your map. It's the best I can do.
All right. Oh, I see an elevator. Elevator that doesn't work.
Jimunja.
That's... I love elevators. I want to know what's up there. Okay, we'll hope for the best.
At last, the Dark Council has answered my petitions and sent a fine young Sith to help secure the temple.
I'm not here to secure the temple.
Of course, I've been ignored again. How stupid of me. If you're here, however, you must have the authority to enter the Dark Temple. You could still save this planet.
You have my complete, undivided attention.
The Dark Temple is ancient, built during a previous incarnation of our empire. 1,000 years ago, our own emperor buried his enemies here. These enemies remain powerful, even in death, which is why the temple was sealed. But now, something terrible has happened.
Some idiot went and woke them up.
With the Emperor's attention elsewhere, a group of ambitious but ignorant Sith thought to gain power by raiding the temple. They didn't find the relics they sought. Instead, they awoke an ancient Sith Lord, Lord Calig, and their expedition plunged into madness.
Are they still in there?
The ones who still live, yes. Because Lord Calig died by ambush, I believe he awakened unaware of his own death, and his expectations became reality for those around him. His power overwhelmed all inside the temple, and even now the workers plot wars against each other, believing themselves Sith Lords, and drawing terrible power from Calig himself.
Are there more dead Sith Lords in there?
Ah, you begin to see the crisis. There are still more ancient Sith Lords whose spirits lay dormant in the temple. If the ancient Sith Lords are woken by the violence within, they could overrun Dromund Kaas.
I've always wanted to say this.
I was just thinking of getting off this planet.
If the other ancients awake and escape, there will be nowhere in the galaxy safe from their wrath. I have studied all of the burial chambers within. Each was made with the same ancient design, one we can exploit. If you fuse the 500-kilogram hinges on each tomb door, even a violent assault should not be able to wake the ancients.
What exactly does this entail?
The team I sent in earlier was using a massive metal torch. Effective, but slow, I'm afraid. They did not make it far. The torch must be recovered, and the doors of the ancients sealed.
The ghost of a Sith Lord awoke and is corrupting everyone. Could this be what Lord Zash sent us to mess with? Who, unlike all the others, we have to approach with humility, I believe she said. Interesting. We probably still have in the back of our minds the idea of, okay, we did what Lord Zash needed, and got rid of her enemy, Darth Scotia. Could she just be sending us to our death since we've outlived our usefulness? Or is this all legit? I think if this turns out to be legit, then maybe Elctha would trust Lord Zash enough. Oh, an elite. Oh, let's see. We got some abilities. I've got Jolt. Cooldown of 18 seconds. Interrupts the target's current action and prevents that ability from being used for 4 seconds. That one you've got to be quick on. You'll see a little bar, like a cast time, when an enemy is using such an ability. You can interrupt that, lock him out. I also have an instant cast, Recklessness. Grants 2 charges of Recklessness, which increases the force critical damage of your direct attacks and heals by 60%. Each time a direct force ability critical hits, or each time a channeled force ability is activated, 1 charge is consumed. Lasts 20 seconds. So it sounds like channeling a force ability while that is up seems to waste the charge of recklessness. Unless I'm completely ignorant. I'm gonna walk over this way because I never have. See if I can hear one of those little sounds of a datacron and a secret.
Unans Tapparp.
I could easily just look up the location of all the datacrons and go find them. But I'd really rather find them myself. Ah, the Dark Temple.
Im Teufel atraus.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere up here.
While Paba, Fraujins in Alama Patai Galakai, in Alama Amainai.
Kemval says, dark energies here, a good place for a feast. Okay, if I'm not mistaken, right up here is a cave. Yep, there it is.
In Twyfel Atraus.
It is instanced. You can tell by the green there. So I am all alone while I'm in here, or my party. Here we have an ancient machine, altar. I missed the lore there. Okay. Oh, I wish I hadn't missed that. There it is, assembly chamber. The assembler is a critical element in the construction, modification, and enhancement of individual datacrons. While not Rakatan, the device bears striking similarities to the design methodologies of the Infinite Empire. Such technology, while not unheard of in the known regions, is spectacularly rare. Ancient records indicate that assemblers such as these were instrumental in shifting the crystalline resonance that powers traditional holocrons so that devices can be accessed and utilized by anyone, regardless of force sensitivity. When and how this innovation was developed is unknown. However, the age of the few assemblers recovered puts the development of this technology around the time of the first Jedi Exodus. Choose input. Yes or no. Red. Yellow. Okay, how about green? Nope. Blue. I only have a red shard. So, I need more shards to do anything. What does this do? I am clearly not ready for anything this place has to offer. I'll read up on that at some point. Okay, Drummond Cost chat. I'll make my dick twice as bigger than the black natural one. I don't see any context to that statement. Okay. See, when it comes to that matrix assembler, a strange thing back there, you know, yeah, we could say that I don't understand what it is and how it works. Or we could say that Elctha doesn't know or understand how it works, right? That makes, that makes sense. Just recontextualize the situation and you don't sound so dumb. Didn't like that, did you, deranged apprentice? I'm gonna call you your damaged apprentice now. What do you think about that? No, one thing I would do want to say about that. Oh, Codex entry, Dark Temple. The Dark Temple. Hundreds of years ago, the Sith Emperor ordered the construction of the Dark Temple as a burial place for his dead and defeated enemies, to aid them in becoming one with the Force. Little is known of what rituals the Emperor performed there, but the Dark Temple has become a nexus of powerful dark side energy, and a place where ancient weapons and ancient secrets of the Sith lay sealed away in cavernous chambers. Although the Dark Temple grounds have always been a dangerous place for the weak-willed, the expansion of the Koth City power grid into tunnels beneath the temple drove 1,000 slaves mad. The temple itself remained sealed until recently, when an expedition of power-hungry Sith lords and their servants breached the gateway. The Dark Council did not sanction this intrusion, nor did it punish the rogue Sith. No one returned from the expedition to punish. Violent electrical storms surrounded the temple for the first week after it was opened, and since then, additional expeditions have been sent by the council to determine the temple's status. The reports have not been made public. Notice when it says the expansion of the Koth City power grid into the tunnels beneath the temple, that links up with the Imperial Agent storyline and their mission into the Dark Temple. They found a way to get the Imperial Agent into that temple without needing the kind of occult reasoning that we have as a Sith sorcerer. Inquisitor, I'm sorry. I'm getting too bloodthirsty killing these damaged apprentices. Yeah, we're gonna curtail this bloodlust and get ready to go in. I won't say some of these things in chat. Okay, that's not interesting enough to get into. I'm gonna pick a flower here at the foot of the... I am literally picking a flower at the base of the stairs of the Dark Temple. That's where I want to be in an MMORPG. Send me into a terrifying tomb. Give me a flower to pick right out front. I love it. My cat loves it too. Who pulled up here. Alright, I'm going to see you next time when we actually enter the temple. Oh, this guy wants to interrupt my whole exit scenario. That's incredibly rude. That's the rudest thing I've ever... That's not the rudest thing I ever experienced. I wish that that was the most rude thing I've ever experienced.